And now, Eric, it's time to talk about Jared Goff, who's throwing passes to Jameson Williams.
Oh, man.
Because it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world. Jared Goff is always a topic of conversation for Detroit Lions fans.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran a poll on our YouTube yesterday. And the question was this. What is the key element that must happen to ensure Jared Goff's success in 2023? 5 options. An elite running game. Add a top-tier wide receiver to the wide receiver core. Ben Johnson's constant support. Or nothing, he's ready to succeed now. And the poll was pretty split. 35% of people that voted, there were 192 votes. 35% said an elite running game.
Okay.
26% said Ben Johnson's constant support.
Okay.
And 23% said nothing. He's good as is. Ready to go.
Okay.
So this, in a lot of ways, could be a make or break season for Jared Goff.
Yeah.
What are the key factors to you that will set Goff up for success in 2023?
I think Goff needs another receiver, whether that's a security.
So you're in the minority of that poll.
Yeah, I think it will be the. Okay. I don't think it will be another receiver. I think the running game. I don't want to say it has to be elite, but it does have to complement it well. It does have to be strong. It does have to be productive. And I think they're going to see that. I just think they're going to be using the run game and those running backs in a different way than we saw last season. We're going to see a lot more dynamic spread out plays with those guys. So for me, it's another receiver. I think whether it's another tight end that offers them a different dynamic in the red zone, whether it's another receiver that opens up different options for Amon-Ra and Jamo to, be in one-on-one isolated situations. I think we have it confirmed that Jared Goff plays his best when the riches are spoiled all around him. And he has a top 5 offensive line. You have a very budding running back core with Montgomery, who should be a tremendous upgrade over Jamal Williams. And I think just adding one more receiver or a tight end, either one of those two, it don't have to be one or the other. One of those two have to be addressed in the draft. I think in a pretty prominent situation or area or pick. I think that's going to be able to bring the best out of Goff. Having a multitude of weapons around him is where we see him at his best. We saw it with the Rams, and we saw it this past season where he had arguably his best career or best season. So I want to see maybe one more piece get added to make sure he's safe and set up to succeed.
So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Okay.
You said receiver, and we've talked about this. I don't necessarily think it's incredibly valuable.
You're wrong, but it's okay.
His best statistical season, Jared Goff's, taking 2022 out of the equation, because we know that was one of his best seasons, if not the best season, which is reason to celebrate in Detroit for a lot of reasons.
Of course.
Who were his receivers in 2018 when he went to the Super Bowl?
2018, I believe Robert Woods was still there. Is that correct? Woods was there. I believe Kupp was there. I don't think Kupp was who he is now, but I believe he was still there. And I think they still had Brandon Cooks, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that.
Okay. And there's one more.
There's one more receiver? Good.
You know him well.
The Rams? Who was their last? Who is it? Who I forget it. I'm gonna be mad.
This guy's gonna hate.
I'm gonna be so mad. Who is it?
You always forget him. Good old Josh Reynolds.
Josh, I'm sorry, Josh. Golly. Yes, Josh Reynolds, his favorite security blanket. I'm sorry. Sorry, Josh.
I say that to say this, right?
Yeah.
Kupp that year had 566 yards. It's not the Kupp that Matthew Stafford made him into.
Right.
Brandon Cooks had 1,200 yards. Robert Woods had 1,200 yards. But I wouldn't necessarily consider either of them a number one, right?
Cooks kind of was around that time.
Yeah, but he was also bounced around to so many different teams too around that time as well.
Yeah, but he was good when he was with those teams.
And the Texans and
he produced
back and forth, and the Saints.
He produced.
He did produce.
Yeah.
Yes. But who was his running back?
TG, Todd Gurley.
Yeah, Todd Gurley. And what I appreciate about this situation that the Lions have, when we talk about being successful for Jared Goff in 2023, how can he repeat what he did in 2022? Well, the run game is the most important aspect.
Okay.
Because Jared Goff off of play action is actually pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where the Rams had a lot of their success.
Yes.
Because how many people stacked the box to stop Todd Gurley? Well, now the Lions, with one of the best offensive lines in the NFL and a very dynamic and young running back in David Montgomery, they have the opportunity to have an elite rushing attack, which then can translate into great play action, which can then create holes in secondaries that Goff can exploit.
For sure.
So when we talk about key factors, and this goes kind of into that next kind of thought process, is like, okay, we know Goff's here for at least 2 more years.
Right.
And as fans, we want those 2 years to be the best years he's ever had.
Yes.
Bar none, because as we said with the backup quarterback, if your backup quarterback or if your quarterback goes down, your team's not going to be that good.
Right.
So when it comes to building around Jared Goff, I think the run game is where you have to put the majority of your attention.
I'm okay with that. Because while there were some games he didn't have like his most, I guess, accurate or efficient games, the running backs were there to help stabilize things. Like Jamal Williams was great in a lot of spots. DeAndre, when he was healthy, looked very productive and as a change of pace scat back. And we're both high on Montgomery and what he can bring to this offense. So yes, I'm okay with that. I would still go with receiver just because, as you just stated, like Brandon Cooks, who was a 1,000-yard receiver for like 3-4 years straight, you know, having Robert Woods, who was ascending at the time, and Kupp, who was still playing well, and Josh Reynolds playing good and being helpful in the stability of that offense. It's still 4 guys that he was leaning on. So, I mean, you can even put I don't know if offensive line was in there too, but that also helps him be able to play that play action style as well. So considering that's been stabilized as well, it's a lot of things that need to work right for him to be at his best. But I'm with you on that. I'm okay with the running game being your choice. I'm all right with that.
Which leads to the conversation of this. Dan Campbell came out yesterday and said, I love our quarterback situation right now.
Yeah.
And Brad Holmes even mentioned that they've had conversations with Goff about the unique position that they're in.
Right.
There's a lot of people that believe Jared Goff is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC. There are other people like RG3 who said he's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. We're not talking about the NFL here.
Dog had Dak ahead of him. That was nuts. Come on.
Yeah, but seriously, running down the list of NFC quarterbacks, the Lions have a decent one to at least get the job done. I'm not taking Kirk Cousins over him.
Me neither.
I'm legitimately not taking Dak Prescott over him either.
Me neither. There's nobody in the South. It's nobody else in the division. I don't care about Justin Fields. Go away, Chicago Bears fans, if you're here. Nobody. I don't care about. I wouldn't take Kyler Murray over him. Like I don't care about. I think he's highly overrated. Stafford. We don't know where he's at this point. Yeah, Goff is. I don't want to say by default, but you know he's there. He's solidified in the top 5. You know, for what he did last year.
So let me throw some data at you.
Okay.
About Goff last season.
Okay.
Because really, I don't think numbers lie. he was above league average in completion percentage, or in rating. I'm sorry, in rating, passer rating, in every zone of the field to the right and 10 yards and under.
Okay.
Huge ratings. Okay.
Okay.
And he was around league average in all of the other ones. He was above league average deep left. He was only like 5 points shy, about mid left. And I was also looking on Football Outsiders. I was looking at them when preparing for this, and I want to throw a little bit more at you.
Okay.
They have a statistic called DVAR, which is the total value that a quarterback brings to their team.
Okay.
In the NFL, do you think you could name the top 5 quarterbacks that brought value to their team last year?
Pat Mahomes, I'm imagining, is one. I think Josh Allen would be there. I believe Joe Burrow would be there.
Nope.
No? Herbert?
Nope.
Hurts has got to be in there then.
Nope.
What? I'm really interested to see who the other ones in. I'm going to stop guessing. Who are they?
Number 5 most valuable quarterback to their team last year was Josh Allen.
Okay. Okay, so he's...
The number 4 most valuable quarterback to their team was Tua Tagovailoa.
Wow. Okay.
Number 3 most valuable quarterback to their team, Tom Brady.
Yeah. Okay.
The 2nd most valuable quarterback to his team, Jared Goff.
I don't like that, but okay. That's their metrics, but okay.
And number 1 was Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
Now, DVOA is their ability to, impact a game, right? Their ability to, it's an adjusted value over the average. So the higher the percentage, the more above average you were.
Right.
Okay. Jared Goff is 4th on that list in the entire NFL.
Okay.
So, statistically, and we know, we've said it and we've admitted, we've said 2022 was his best season.
Yeah.
And with the right pieces and a running game around him, and as we talked about on the live last night, most likely drafting a wide receiver to add to that core, there's reason to believe he can be successful again.
Yeah. I would take that. I would agree with that. I think he has to be. I don't want to say it's make or break as it was kind of positioned, but I think we're going to have the most accurate reading of who he truly is. Like, I don't think last season would tell it, and I don't think the year before tells it. I think this is going to be the most accurate reading of who Jared Goff is, and if the Lions are going to invest in him for the next 5 years.
But maybe, like we talked about with J-Mo in the first segment, maybe there was a little bit of refining of the edges of the diamond a little bit. A scratching the surface of the potential that could be here.
Okay.
Because last year was his first year under Ben Johnson. Last year he had a pretty effective running game.
Yep.
Last year he had weapons that he could throw to.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson's still here in 2023.
Right.
And if I'm the Lions, I'm selling literally everything that I have to say, what's it going to take to keep you here forever?
Please.
Please. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The run game is improved. David Montgomery is a better running back than Jamal Williams.
Yes.
And the Swift-Montgomery combination is going to be lethal behind one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, you have this rising star kid named Jameson Williams who can literally run circles around people.
Mm-hmm.
and someone who was named as the greatest draft steal of like the last decade in Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can check that article out on DSN.
Yep.
And not to mention any other weapons that are going to be found through this draft. So there could be, and listen, I want to be very clear too. We have had it out for Jared Goff. We have. But I will also say that if he continues to play at the 2022 level, and that's like the floor,
then you got something.
I'm not going to be mad going forward.
Absolutely. I really want people to understand that, because I see it online all the time. People believe because we might want to upgrade. First, it didn't even start with upgrading the position. People were mad at the possibility of drafting a backup being a threat to him. And we're not saying that. We're not saying he has to be replaced immediately. We're not saying you have to make a move, but you do want to see some traits that define a franchise long-term quarterback. And we don't believe, I'm not going to speak for you. I don't believe we've seen that yet. I just don't. I think he has room to grow. We saw a great season last season. It has to be replicated next year. It has to be replicated or improved next season. It does.
And honestly, like, I don't really see a reason why it can't. Same offensive coordinator, a more seasoned Jameson Williams, and a better running game. Mm-hmm. Oh, not to mention Graham Glasgow's now back, so your right guard's not Swiss cheese.
Love that. Yes.
Hal Vitai's gonna hopefully not be injury prone for the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. So your offensive line has improved. Oh, and also your defense is better.
Yep. So you could be getting short field to be working with in the same breath.
Short field to be working with, not I saw a highlight of the Jamal Williams run against Seattle.
Oh,
they were down 31-15 at that point.
Yeah, I remember that run.
31-15 at that point. Mm-hmm. And that was in the third quarter. That's a huge hole to climb out of.
Indeed it is.
So I don't think you're going to be seeing those situations that often either.
No. And
where Jared Goff is his best when he just has to distribute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this Lions team is actually set up quite perfect for that.
Yeah. The only reason, like, to me, we're probably not going to see it based on what we just talked about. I've said that, to me, a franchise quarterback looks like somebody that can elevate talent and elevate their team when everything is not perfect around them. They're looking like they're trying to construct everything to be as perfect as possible for Jared Goff. Like, even like some of the creative, like, to me, when I'm thinking of upgrading the position or having a mobile quarterback, I'm thinking of some of the plays they ran, like the Green Bay play where they, pitched it back to Swift, from Amon-Ra. They do the creative kind of plays like that. And I'm kind of maybe in my head playing Madden with things you could do with other mobile quarterbacks. But the way they're setting it up for, which people could argue is better, they're putting everything around Goff for him to be as perfect as possible. Great O-line, unbelievable dynamic with your run game, and you're going to be adding dynamics and other players to the receivers and the tight end suit as well. So I'm not going to get my wish this season. I don't believe I'm going to have to see him in a position where he has to lift the roster. I think they're going to make sure he's protected, and I'm okay with that as long as people are admitting that's the case. That's all.
And honestly, as a fan of the team, doesn't that actually sound good?
Sure.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what you want your team to do. If this is the guy for the next 2 years, and who knows beyond that, they're doing all of the right things. And there's no reason why you don't see a similar type season that Goff had last season.
It's possible.
And there's going to be a lot more answers that come up, Eric. Especially around draft time, which we are just under a month away from.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk to the people about our live draft show. There's all this excitement, and we know that you're excited too. And if you are excited, you're in for a treat.
please, please, please join us for our exclusive 2023 NFL Draft Live Show, where your favorite analysts, AJ, Eric, and Dylan, will be breaking down each first-round pick as it happens live on the spot. That's right, we'll be reacting to live all the drama, surprises, and jaw-dropping moments of the NFL Draft.
We want you to be a part of that action. So share your thoughts with us, your reactions, predictions in the live comments, and we will interact with you throughout the show because we'll be there for every single pick of the first round. Don't miss the chance to engage with your fellow Lions fans and us, your two favorite Detroit sports hosts, and our buddy Dylan, who runs our TikTok.
Yes.
On draft night.
Yes. So do it now. Get to your calendars, mark it in your phone for the 2023 NFL Drive Live Show, April 27th, hosted by Detroit Sports Nation. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Do it right now. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single moment of this epic event on the way.
And we will see you there.
Yes.
And as always, go Lions. Yes. It's been a great night talking about Jameson Williams and Jared Goff. I'm excited. I can't wait for that doggone draft show. It's going to be epic.
Oh, man.
And we're going to have a lot clearer picture of what this team is going to look like heading into the 2023 season with a rising star in Jameson Williams.
Y'all go see.
Who's got some things to work on, but also a lot of positives that go along with it.
Yep. But you guys will see us in rare form for the draft. Believe that.
Oh, yeah.
Believe that. It's coming.
And then Jared Goff. A lot of potential of potentially the surface that was only scratched last season. And the building blocks that they have put around him to make him as successful as possible in 2023. Yes. As a Lions fan, you cannot be anything but excited for that. But that's going to do it for us tonight.
Yes.
He's Eric. I'm AJ. This has been your favorite Detroit sports show, Beyond the Box. We will be live with you Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Make sure you don't miss that. And then we will drop a more in-depth episode Friday at 5 p.m. as well. Make sure you've liked and subscribed on YouTube. Pound that bell for notifications. And follow Detroit Sports Nation across all social media platforms. Yes. We will see you live Monday night. Thursday night. Ooh, it's Monday now. I don't want to relive this. Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Yes.